So here we are, we finally reached it, the fabled 2012, the year the world is meant to come to an end. Everyone that I speak to is talking about this. This seems to be the big theme, as you'd imagine it would be. The more pragmatically minded are concerned about the global economy collapsing. The more kind of adventurous in imagination are seeing the effects of that in their minds, you know, the kind of breakdown of social order. The ones with even more of a global view are looking at the geopolitical shifts that are occurring, with China fast taking the ascendant position on the world stage. And the more, should we say, spiritually minded are looking at what could be the meaning behind the fact that the Mayan calendar came to an end, or comes to an end, presumably on the 21st of December 2012. And some believe it's to do with Elenis, the big asteroid that's on its way from the other side of the sun, purportedly. Others think that it could be that because we're going deeper into the asteroid belt in general. Others that the solar flare activity is increasing enough to elicit an increase of earthquakes and what have you. The fact is, nobody knows. It could be the year that the supervolcano goes off and that's goodbye to everybody. It could be the year that all of this stuff happens, and many days when I'm looking at the news, it does look like that's what's occurring. The whole lot is just going wee. But, and in fact if this is the case, if this really is the last year on Earth, which personally I find it hard to countenance and believe, but I'm always open to whatever, it's really useful to use that as a meter by which to gauge how much you're living your life as you really want to be living it. So for me, I actually have got it down to a month. When I get better at it, I'll get it down to a day. When I'm even better, I'll get it down to a minute. But I walk around thinking, if this is the last month of my life, am I living it how I want to be living it? It's much easier to do that over a whole year. So if you think to yourself, okay, if 2012 is the last year on Earth, am I living it as I want to be living it? And you keep asking yourself that from moment to moment. Now, I'm not talking about living it from the point of view of your own self-concerned gratification. I'm talking about, am I contributing the very most I can to my brothers and sisters to make this reality as beautiful, as amazing, as incredible as it can possibly be? Am I doing everything that I possibly can? What can I do to serve here? What can I do to serve the greater good? To make this passage, this transition we're going through, easier, more enjoyable for everybody. And one of the guiding principles that I use is, rather than succumb to any negative outlook, I like to see that what's happening now is a little bit like the tide going out before the tide comes in. It's like you have to squeeze through the yin constriction phase to come out into the yang expansion phase. And we are definitely now entering into a phase of constriction. The money flow is constricted, that's causing, freedom of movement is constricted, all sorts of things are constricted. We're going into a constrictive phase now. Well, actually, I think perhaps and hopefully we're reaching the zenith of a constrictive phase. It started somewhere around the year 2000. I'd like to think that we're about to come out of that, but before we do, because we always do come out of constricted phases, before we do, we have to go through this passage, this transition. And at the very least, it will cause inconvenience to people, and we all know how inconvenient we find inconvenience. At the very most, it could cause major disruption. However, we are adaptable, incredibly adaptable, adaptive. We are amazingly resilient and flexible when when we give ourselves our head. We are able to be incredibly resilient and adapt to all sorts of changes remarkably well. And I think it's really important to hold the vision of us here in 2013 and beyond, having entered into a new golden era for humanity. That's what I see, that's what I'm investing in, a new golden era for humanity. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's already begun. I'm sure that you feel the same way. For us who are awake, it feels like we have already entered into a new golden era for humanity. What has to happen next is that everyone else has to catch up with this. And I believe that that's what will happen. I believe that's what our mission is now, is to help everybody wake up and catch up with this new golden era that has already begun. This is the new paradigm. I'm actually having holding an event on December 21st, 2012 at Earl's Court. We was going to be at Wembley Stadium, but there's no roof on there, amazingly, for 20,000 people to do a sound healing together. And that's how much I believe that we will be surviving beyond the 21st of December 2012. I just want you to know that I'm here as your rock and your pillar, constantly focusing on how I can help to ameliorate conditions, to shine a light, to help guide you through the dark phases, and we'll be doing everything possible to make what I'm offering clearer, more congruent, more relevant, more useful. So I'm looking forward to many beautiful and fine and loving interactions with you, one way or another, over the coming cycle, the coming year. And all that remains is to wish you the most amazing year of your life so far by a quantum leap in every possible way, replete with an endless run of ever increasing beautiful surprises. Thank you very much.